a little bit, and I'm going to be bringing that in just a little closer. All right, so here we go. Here is the kit. Pretty box, and you can see it's in the packaging, so that's going to give you an indication of what's going to be inside this kit. It is all about gifts and packaging. So my box is all a jumble because I have pulled things out. And you can kind of hear, I have some of my stamp sets mounted. So first, let's take a look at what's inside the kit. We'll get organized, we'll create, and then I'll show you the alternatives. So always in the kit, the instructions, you need these. You want to see what we are going to be creating as designed per the instructions. Gifts galore, this is the November kit, and you can see we have some cute packages to create. There's some little Christmas tree shaped packages, snowman packages, and pile of gifts packages. When you open up on the inside, it gives us a step-by-step instruction. No words because everything is visual. So you will want to follow along with the visual instructions. There are little keys to let you know what you should be doing and what the recommendations are. So we've got our instructions, and another thing to note, it's really handy. Going down the side of the instructions is a measuring tool. So that's always handy to have while we're crafting. On the back side, Stampin' Up! Has kindly offered some alternatives themselves. So we've got a garland, which I think is adorable. That was my first idea when I saw this kit, was to create a garland, but they've already shown it to us, so I don't need to offer that to you. There's a couple of alternative cards here, and then on the back it also gives us all the kit components. So we need the instructions, and we have our die cuts to create our pretty packages. There's Christmas trees, and the way that the packages are designed, I know that we need 2 per package. So we need 2 trees, 2 pile of gifts, and then 2 of those cute little snowman. And these are huge. They're like oversized, extra large die cuts. And as always, let's see, a stamp set is included, and that's the same here. Let's see if I can let's see if I flip it over easier. We've got some cute images on the, I've got something going on here. Let's see if I can push over, and there we go. I'm just gonna have to move over just a tiny bit, get us out of that there. So the stamp set has some sentiments: happy holidays, Merry Christmas, oh what fun, and it's got a little to and from, and then some images. It's got a pattern block, a diagonal stripe, a cute little bow, and some snowflakes. And they, of course, are photopolymer. If it's your first kit, it will also include a special paper pumpkin acrylic block. So this is not my first kit, so I like to just bring my acrylic blocks. I have all the sizes I need, and I really like handling those better than the acrylic block from the paper pumpkin. Now this kit includes 2 twines, the cute little white and Poppy Parade and Old Olive twine. That's my favorite ribbon. This month's color is Flirty Flamingo, and while I don't open it, I do hang on to them because I like to know which colors we have available to us if we are subscribers. And I can either gift this to someone who needs an ink spot, or it also functions as an extra ink spot for some of my classes. I have a package of dimensionals and some cute little paper clips. And we have tape runner adhesive. So this is like the sticky tear and tape adhesive. Because we are constructing 3D projects, we'll need that more aggressive adhesive. We have the box die cuts. They have been pre-cut and scored for us. And let's see if I take one for each box that we're going to create. And trying to get organized, which is the first thing I like to do, get organized and then start creating. And we have the cute little treat bags. These are the cello bags. These happen to have little snowflake patterns on them. Super cute if you're going to be giving edible treats or any kind of a gift that needs to go into a little sack. So we have those as well. And then we have our die cuts. We have some circle die cuts. We have some tag die cuts and some banner die cuts. Not sure which ones we're going to need, so I'm just going to set aside one of each of the die cuts. All right, so let's take it away. We also have the chipboard. So sometimes we want to use that chipboard if we need to stamp off or need to just check on our inking. And I always say everything is included in the kit. You might want to have some paper snips. You might want to have my take your pick tool. This is my all-time favorite. It is so handy. And then I like to have my piercing mat handy as well. These are photopolymer stamps, and you get better impressions if you stamp on this rather than on the flat surface. Well, hey, Debbie, hello. Thank you for letting me know you're here. I'm wondering if you already assembled your paper pumpkin kit. This is a super cute kit as is. So let's get started with our packaging, and I'm going to do as I say. I'm going to bring in the instructions, and we are going to start with the cute Christmas tree box. All right, so Christmas tree box right in front. And the first thing we're going to do is shape this box. And for that, you can use an acrylic block, or you can use your bone folder. And wouldn't you know, where is my bone folder? Let me grab one. All right, this is not my personal bone folder. This is a class bone folder, which works just as well. I can tell because it doesn't have my Stamperista tag on it. Okay, so I am going to fold and score on the score lines, or fold and burnish on the score lines. And we are just shaping the box right now. And there are little tabs that we want to make sure are folded over and burnished as well. So Debbie, don't delay. This is a little kit that you want to assemble right away. It is perfect for delivering treats to any helpers, to any friends. Anytime you go someplace, if you have one of these little treat boxes, you will make friends. All right, so I've folded these in, and these are the important things. These tabs here, that's where we're going to apply our adhesive. So I'm looking at my instructions right here. Step number 1 is to put on that adhesive, and we are going to use the adhesive that's in the kit. And let's see, let's think this through. So these are going to come up. The sides are going to come up as well to create the walls. So where I want to put the adhesive is on the tabs here that I folded down. Yes, I know, Debbie. Sometimes we just need to relax and craft, because otherwise things can get too hectic. And I have to confess, crafting is what gives me a little relief, a little sense of calm from all the things that are going on that make life kind of busy. So this is just like the tear and tape. I'm just going to apply it here. You saw I'm just using my fingernail to kind of pull off and tear. And I'm just going to put on the 4 tabs. So easy. And each of the boxes begins with this base construction. So you can also use your pick tool to pull off the covering, makes it easier. You can use your nails as well, but sometimes that's a little bit difficult. And another tip I have too is if you press or burnish down the adhesive, it's easier to pull off the covering. And you really want it on there securely. You don't want your box to fall apart. And here we go. We are just going to bring up the walls and the tabs and adhere. Make sure you burnish so that they are fastened. It's a cute, it's actually a very generous size treat box. And there we go. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it on its side, and I'm just going to use my bone folder to go ahead and secure all the little tabs. And so there's our little pouch. That's what our sack is going to fall into. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in my trees, and we've got a tree for the front and a tree for the back. And it's a cute little box like that. I know some of these boxes, you only need the front. And you can still put your little sack in the front. It's a cute little place setting that doesn't really need that backing. So we are going to extend our resources by putting the 2 die cuts. We're going to try and save on some of them by just using 1. Now I gotta say, on the back of the die cut, not sure if you can see, there is a little line in here. It's the shape of the box. That means that's where you want to apply your adhesive. So down at the bottom, just make sure that you've got it inside that guide. We're gonna put it up the sides. And again, we have guides right on the die cut. It is printed with little directional lines on there. So we're going to do both of these because the first ones we are assembling just like the instructions. And I like that these are printed on the back side. They've got pretty color on them. This is Poppy Parade with a little stripe on the back, because who wants to look at a blank white backing? This is going to have lots of color exposed. All right, so now we've got our adhesive on there. And remember, I said make sure you burnish that on there so it's nice and secure. And, you know, tear and tape is the perfect adhesive for 3D construction. We don't struggle at all. A previous aggressive adhesive used to have a little red backing, and it had a lot of static to it, a lot of clinginess to it. It was hard to flick off. Okay, so I've exposed my 3 sides here, and what I'm going to do is take my little box and I'm going to align it right to the guides that are on the back of the die cut. So simple. And again, I'm going to burnish that down, and you can see my grass grid is kind of moving about. That's why it keeps twirling around on me. But I love it because it's got my grid lines. It's a glass, nice solid surface, so no wooden indentations like my tabletop has. It's perfect for stamping. The only thing it doesn't have is the actual measurements. I've got the grid, but not the measurements. Okay, so let's push up just a little bit. And again, I am going to position this right within, and I'm hoping you can see I've got that little guide right there. So how awesome is that? That way your box won't come out wonky. Just take your time, be precise. It's going to be super cute. And there we go. There is our box. What we have left to do, we are going to create a little tag with that banner, little white banner. And we are going to be using the Merry Christmas sentiment, and we are stamping in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm using my full-size pad. So we're just going to ink up. Let's put that aside, and I am going to bring this up to or onto my piercing mat. Remember, you get a better impression when you are on the spongy, foamy surface. So trying to get lots of ink on there. And I'm going to stamp down the Merry Christmas. These are photopolymer stamps, so they're so easy to see right through for placement. And there we go. Merry Christmas. And we're also going to do a little tag. So if you know the recipient, you can put the to and from on here. If you just want to have gifts at the ready, you don't need to do this. You could just decorate the little tag And I am going to use my to and from right there. And again, I'm going to stamp in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to stamp off to the left so I have space to write the names. There we go. Oh, I don't like that. I got a little bit extra ink off to the side, but I'm not going to, well, I got some on there too. I'm not going to waste a label. I'm going to cover that up. I'll find a little way to cover that up. So then I am going to cut 12 inches of twine. I'm going to move my ink pad aside. I need 12 inches, and I am going to use the Flirty Flamingo and white twine, right like so. I'm using my ribbon scissors. So I actually have two pair of paper snips. One is for ribbon cutting, one is for paper cutting. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. Just like so. It's a big bow right now, just like so. And we are going to add this with a paper clip. We're not going to adhere it down, we're just going to clip it on. I'm going to let those little paper clips free. And I'm going to take my Merry Christmas. We're going to just paper clip it right on here. Actually, let's see if I can put this on. Well, right. It's really tight, so you're going to have to be patient getting it through. Let's see if I make it a little bit loose there. Sometimes it's easier just to tie it straight onto the paper clip, I'm thinking, instead. There we go. And now I can push that little bow. There we go. There's my Merry Christmas, and the tag also is for the little bag of treats. So let's see. I am going to have some little peppermint candies here. We are going to use, again, some twine, probably about the same inches. Actually, it says 15 inches. I'm going to eyeball the 15 inches. Tie this up. And let's see, we want to thread that through. Just like so. And I'm going to tie it nice and tight. Just like so. Pretty little bow. And you see that ink spot? Well, I'm going to cover it up, but I will explain where I got this in a few minutes. I have an extra gift here that I'm just going to put in at the side. I'm going to make it nice and small. And I'm going to just use a little tiny dot of glue, and I'll put it better here than on the actual Prezi. And there we go. Crisis averted, right? Okay, so these little treats go right in here. And let's see, I should have been a little more strategic about that tag so it would show through. And maybe my little glue job hasn't dried yet, but there you go. So stinking cute. A little box of treats, and you could fill it with popcorn, you could fill it with a gifty, doesn't necessarily have to be edible, but so stinking cute, right? That is the Christmas tree. And the snowman, guess what? We construct the box exactly the same as we do for the presents. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my bases here. And again, you are going to want to burnish these score lines. That makes it so much crisper and professional looking. There we go. And we're going to do 2 of them because we're also going to be doing the pile of presents. Yes. What would you put inside the little gift box? What kind of tasty treat would you put in, or what small gift would you add? I mean, I'm thinking you could probably stuff a little pair of socks in there, any kind of little jewelry, maybe some fancy embellishments for a crafter. How fun would that be? Some little teaspoons for the cook. I don't know, little packet of seeds for the gardener. You could do all kinds of things. Whoa, I forgot to do some of the tabs here. I think not all gifts have to be edible, or not all treats have to be edible. You can do small soaps, maybe a little collection of hand lotions, those little tiny purse bottles, the little hand sanitizers. Some very useful small gifts, I think, would be perfect, and such a cute presentation. And you've seen the little snowman, you've seen the presents, and you've seen the Christmas tree. What's your favorite? Which one do you think you're gonna like? You might change your mind after you see all of them constructed, but I think my first glance was the snowman, but after working with a couple of the others, I think I might have changed my mind. You'll see. Okay, so I'm just pulling off the covering on the tear and tape, and we're going to construct our box. First box, and it's kind of like at an angle, and you just want to make sure that you have it pressed nicely. And again, the sides come up at an angle as well. It's like some kind of quadrilateral, not a rectangle. There we go. And you can see I'm just gonna use my bone folder to burnish that in. One more box. So you can see, let's see, I think we make 4 of the 3 patterns, the 3 designs, so that would be 12 boxes. And just do an assembly line, do all your stamping, do all your construction at once, and then all your assembly, and they'll be done in a jiffy. Last month's Paper Pumpkins was also perfect, beautiful Christmas cards, and I think in my experience with Paper Pumpkin, October and November are always knockout months. We always have great projects for the holidays. So you always want to be a member in October and November. All right, so next I'm going to do the snowman. And same situation, we've got our guides down at the bottom. This little snowman has pool party and looks like some little snowballs on the back. Super cute. So Debbie thinks it's snowman. The snowman was my favorite at first, just because maybe it's because we don't get to see too many snowmen here in Southern California. Temperature's been nearly 80 degrees. The only place we're going to see snowmen is if we're watching Frosty on the Netflix. Okay, we've got 2 snowmen here. We're going to reveal the sticky. And, you know, this take your pick tool is just a godsend. It's only like $10, and it is just the handiest. Mostly I use the piercing side, and then I also use the gummy tip as well. There is a tool for getting the small bits out of the dies, and I'm just trying to be very careful to kind of align that correctly. And don't forget to secure that. We're going to flip this over and secure it onto the pool party. There we go. All right, so there's my snowman. Let's keep going. We've got a pile of presents here to do. And on the back is Old Olive with some snowflakes. Who doesn't love a pile of gifts? And I would say these are probably like a good, I don't know, 8 inches high, maybe about like 4.5, maybe a little bit longer, 5 inches wide by about maybe 7 or 8 inches high. I love that the little cello bags are included. All right, so we're gonna do adhering. Oops, and I forgot to, oops, I got a little bit of extra adhesive on there. I was adhesive happy there. And we're gonna do the back side. And again, you could construct these treat boxes with just the front side and save the die cuts for making more or making alternative projects. And you're gonna see what I mean in just a few minutes when I share with you my alternative projects. Sometimes you don't need 12 treat boxes, right? But with Paper Pumpkin, you always can use your imagination, create, because we get that stamp set and we have ink spots in different colors. And there's lots of other things we can create besides just treat boxes. All right, my friends, there is the pile of trees. Now on the snowman, we're using the label that says, "Oh, what fun." So we need a circle label. And of course, we are going to stamp the name tag as well. I'm gonna bring in my piercing mat. And for the pile of trees, we're using another banner. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and do stamping at the same time. So Merry Christmas and oh, what fun. Still in our Flirty Flamingo. So, whoops, yikes. Runaway stamp. Sorry if that hurt your ears. Okay, so Merry Christmas on the banner. And let's see if I'm in camera view so you can see. So easy to align when you see right through. And I'm going to press firmly. And we're also going to do the oh, what fun. And let's see. That goes on the circle die cut. I'm trying to pick up lots of ink here. Just like so. There we go. I'm going to push that aside for now. And we are going to do the bow again. But this time I'm going to see if I can put it right through the paper clip. And I'm still going to do nearly 12 inches. That was a little bit long, but better to have extra than not enough, because then it is wasteful. Trying to economize too much, sometimes you actually waste. So here's my experience. I think it's going to be easier if we tie the bow to the little paper clip. We are going to put the Merry Christmas onto the pile of prezzies. Run that little paper clip right inside there. They are little tight clips, not like the classroom ones. Okay, so there we go. There's our little label, Merry Christmas, with our cute little bow. And then, oh, what fun. Also has the cute little bow, about, I would say 10 inches is plenty. And again, I'm going to tie this right onto the paper clip. So there's a little tip from my experience. Just tie the bow directly on the clip. You don't need to do a separate bow. And that is not in the instructions. That's Anna Marie's instructions. So there we go, our little bow with our paper clip. Oh, what fun. It's going to go right on his scarf. And push that through. There we go. There's our little snowman. Okay, so we've got our 3. Let's see what you think. Christmas tree, snowman, pile of prezzies, and I think they're all cute. I would love to get one of these. If you're in an office, this would look so cute on your desktop. And again, it's such a nice little gift to take along if you are running errands. Take it to your hairdressers, take it to the post office, to the bank. You know, so many people need just a little pick-me-up. These are perfect for that. I don't know. I still think the snowman's cute, but I like that tree. And you could also bump him up a little bit, put real buttons on the snowman. How about that? Or, you know, little baubles, little rhinestones on the Christmas tree. Lots of ways to pick it up. So let's see what else we can create, because, you know, we've got that great stamp set. We've got some ink and just a few extra supplies, and we can continue creating. We are going to start off with a cute little card. I'm going to bring in my supplies here, and I will show you. First, I have a card. This is my little singing snowman card I created with some of the supplies from the kit. I'm going to walk you through it. You're going to recognize that Merry Christmas, and this little background is actually one of the stamps that's included in the kit. Yay! And I love the little songbook, lots of fun little things going on with this card. Maybe you don't need that many treat boxes. Here's a cute little card to send along. So let's get started. We are going to need basic white card base, and it's the standard size. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I pre-scored it right down the middle at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder. And I have a layer of Night in Navy, and I think you might be able to see some cute little snowflakes on there. I pre-embossed it with the Wintry 3D embossing folder. This is a packet of 2 embossing folders. One is the alpine branches, and the other is the little flurry of snowflakes. And again, I pre-embossed that. I did use the standard cut and emboss because the paper is a little bit wider. All right, oops, I've got some random things flying around here. I also need a piece of real red. This measures about 2 1/4 by, 2.5 by 2 1/8. So you don't have to do eighths if you don't want to. I just needed the book a little bit longer. And I scored it right down the middle. So half of 2.5 would be 1 1/4. You can see I scored it right down there. So easy to fold. And I have 3 circle punches from the shimmer white. Hopefully you can see the shimmery on it. I thought it would look more like snow. I have 3 circles, and I pre-punched them. And just to share with you, Stampin' Up! Eliminated the punches. You could use your layering circles, which I think are on back order right now. But what I've done, I've punched 2 2 1/4 inch circles and 1 1 3/4 inch circles. And again, that's from the shimmery white paper. And I have 2 little snowman arms. Aren't those sweet? If you're wondering where I got these are from the Snowman Builder Punch. So this coordinates with the Snowman Season stamp set. It has the little snowman, 2 arms, the carrot nose, and the top hat. Perfect punch, and I just needed his little arms there. So that's where those came from. And I have 2 black 1/2 inch circles, and I just used my old 1/2 inch circle punch. So I love punches. I never let go of my shapes. I know I'm always going to use them. And then I have 1 little snowflake. or big snowflake from the Wonderful Snowflakes packets. So again, if you are a Escape Plus member with me, that means you subscribe for a full year, actually you bought a prepaid for a whole year. You will get all of these supplies to create this alternative project in the mail directly from me. So I need one of those. I also need a scrap, a pumpkin pie. That's going to be his carrot nose. And I am going to be using a little scrap for, let's see, what am I using this scrap for? As we move along, I'll tell you what I use the scrap for. All right, so let's get creating here. So I've got those circles. I'm going to take that not quite navy, and I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring here. I'm just going to dip the dauber, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of not quite navy around the edges, just to make it look a little bit snowy, like it's obviously nighttime here. You could maybe use a lighter color. I could have done this on Pool Party as well. It'd be just as cute. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color to the edges, not too much. Hopefully you can see on camera. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of the circles. So just a little bit of color with the dauber. Just kind of pounce on it, pick up a little bit of ink. Thank you, Debbie. I think it's pretty cute. And I love the little singing snowman. And this just lets you use your stamp set from your paper pumpkin kit. It's the kit is really a great value. Just the little stamp set and the ink spot is a great value. Plus it includes postage, so really good deal. Okay, so I've done my inking there. Let's start building this. Now I'm going to take my Night of Navy, and I'm going to use 1 snowflake only, and I am going to snip it. And I'm not going to snip it right down a center. I'm going to kind of go at an angle. So it's still in half, but I'm just going to snip it right across. We're going to attach it to the upper left and the lower right. I'm just going to use my favorite, the Tombow. And I'm just going to put little tiny dots in critical areas. We want this to kind of stay on the paper. And it's going to hang off the edge. I'm going to butt it right up to the edge here. Secure that down. And do the same on the other side. Now on the snowflake, one side is iridescent and one side is flat. And I'm using the iridescent side. I want more shimmer on this, kind of like, that's why I use the shimmer white, a little bit of sparkle like snow would glisten. And I'm going to put this right up to the edge, just there. Bring it down. All right, so let's do a little snowman construction. We're going to bring in our snowballs. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. My liquid glue is going to be fine. I'm going to create my snowman. The 2 larger ones get stacked there, and the head goes on the top right here, just like so. Let's see, I'm going to make his little carrot nose from paper pumpkin, and it's freehand cut. Let's see, just like so. And I'm going to put a little tiny dot of glue on his head. That's where the carrot nose is going to go. Just there. And that 1/2 inch circle punch, one of them I'm going to trim down to an oval just about halfway. This is going to be his little open mouth because he's caroling. Whoops. And I didn't really have an oval punch. The one I had was very, very small, too small for my big snowman. So I'm just going to shape it, starting with a 1/2 inch circle. I'm going to shape it up here. And again, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on his head. That's where his little singing mouth is going to go. Now I'm ready to deal with the book. Remember, this was 2.5 inches scored at 1 1/4. The book is going to be slightly open, so it really wouldn't look too much like a book that way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shape it. We're going to snip off a little triangle at the bottom. This gives the illusion of a book that's open, and then we're going to cut. So what I did on the right, I took off a little smidge of a triangle, and on the left as well, I'm going to come up to that angle, maybe like 1/8 of an inch up, and snip that off. And then at the other end, I am just going to, let's see, I'm going to come in about 1/8 of an inch and go up to that corner, that upper left corner, and cut straight across. And there's my book. Open that up. Now it looks a little bit more like a book, but we need some little hands holding the book. So here's where the little snowman hands come in. I'm going to put just a dot right around the middle. And let's see, I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to fold the little stick over. Let me see if I can push it out just a little bit. Fold that little stick back, and we will just put a little dot there so it stays back. Okay. And my other little hand goes on the other side. Same deal. I'm going to put it right here and fold it back with a little tiny dot. Secure that in place. And the little book is going to have some dimensionals. I'm just going to pop that up, and I'm going to apply a little dimensional here. Actually, this is the standard dimensional, not the mini, and there. And let's see if I can add that to my little snowman. It's going to come up like so. And you can see I'm eyeballing almost everything. You know what? I think I need, well, it should be okay. I was going to say I might need another dimensional down here, but maybe not. And it might be a little bit high. Let's see if I can still bring it down, because I'll tell you why. I'm going to want to put on his scarf, and he didn't have much room on his neck there. So if I come down just a little tiny bit lower, this other 1/2 inch circle was for a little button on his belly. Comes right out from the bottom of the book. Now I'm going to take some of the twine, and I'm taking both the Old Olive and the Poppy Parade, and let's see, not measuring, it's probably going to be like 12 inches again. And I'm going to wrap it around Snowman's neck. And I have a little bit of glue on there. I'm going to take that off. Not sure where it came from. I'm going to have to clean it up because now it's going to be sticky. All right, so all I did was bring this to the side. I'm going to tie a little knot. And I don't know, is this like a slip knot? Who knows? I don't know my knots. I'm going to bring it right through there and push it right up towards his neck as far as I can go. And then I wanted to fray his scarf. So I took my, let's see if I can do this on my piercing mat. I took my take your pick, and I just came in, and if this is too cumbersome, you don't have to do it. I just put that piercing edge right through the twine, because what I'm trying to do is separate the fibers and make it look a little bit more woolly. So just separate those twines, or the strands on the twine. I just kind of found a spot to pierce it through, and I'm going to bring that down. Let's see if I can fuss with it. There we go. It's actually not too difficult to do. Just have to be patient with it. And I keep going. I'm just creating the little scarf. There we go. And one more. And here we go. All right, so there is my little snowman. We're almost getting there. So what I want to do is position him on the card. He is going to be popped up with dimensionals. So I'm going to bring back in the dimensionals, and I'm going to be generous with them. I just want to give lots of support all over. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing. And I love the way this paper shimmers. It's such a cute snowman. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put him right in here, and he's sort of off to the right, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and put him onto our card base. He's going to be flat adhered on the card base. And I'm not sure if you can tell, the width of the embossing folder is not quite the entire width of the layer. So there is a flat layer of the not quite navy. That's kind of where the snowflake is falling. And you could, I guess, double emboss it if you needed to, if you wanted the entire layer to be embossed. I kind of like it with it just kind of peeking out that way. And I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. There we go. I love the way it's coming together. Okay, so I'm going to just use my bone folder to attach that. So all that's left is a little sentiment. You can see I added Merry Christmas. Here's where my white cardstock comes in. We are going to create that little pattern paper that we're stamping on using the diagonal stripe stamp that's in the kit. And I'm just going to ink up a couple of times in Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to stamp twice. And stamp down. And I'm going to stamp down again. This is just creating our little patterned paper. And now I'm ready to stamp my sentiment, which is going to be Merry Christmas. And let's see, last time I stamped in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm looking around for my chamois. Here we go. Let me clean the stamp before I dip it into my not quite navy, because the color might not come out nice. There we go. Nice and clean. I'm going to ink up 2 times. First, I'm going to ink up with the Merry. And so what I'm going to do is just come in and love the photopolymer that I can see right through. And I'm going to ink up right up here. Perfect. So that's what I'm getting. And I'm going to wipe that off again, because now I'm going to do the Christmas on the second one. And I determined you actually need 2. There's not quite enough room to stack that Christmas, so we do need 2 of the little diagonal rectangles, diagonal pattern rectangles. And I'm going to stamp with Christmas. I'm going to flip that around and ink up. So my sentiment's going to be Merry Christmas. And now I am ready to just hand snip. I'm going to look for my paper snips that I have in my hand. And I'm just going to cut kind of right around the wording. This is a really cute font. It's like a hand writing font, kind of joyful, not elegant. And let's see if I eliminate some of that. And I'm just going to bring it around. Don't have to be too precise. Okay, so that's going to be on the card. Oh, I do want to kind of come down, bring it down and up. There we go. Then I need my Christmas. So I'm going to eliminate some of that and come around and just cut right through here. Bend it around. So here we go. And we have ascenders, so the T and then the little dot on the I. And then we have another ascender, that H. Reach way up and come around that C. And we're ready. So all that's left is to adhere our little sentiment. I am going to want to put a mini dimensional on the back. Let's see if I have a mini dimensional handy. Oh my goodness, I don't. So let's take, look at this. My mini dimensionals are used up. Okay, no worries. I'm going to come right here and create my own. So I'm just going to do that. Let's see if that's too big. Do you do this? Do you use every last bit of your dimensional sheets? I do not like to waste. And plus that border's actually very handy. So I'm just putting it right at the left because the other side is going to be adhered to the little snowman. And I don't want to double stack the dimensionals. I want it to have an even, consistent height. So we're going to put our Mary right there on the book, using that as a reference. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal the second word, the Christmas. And I'm going to come right in here and adhere it. I'm looking to kind of continue that diagonal stripe, and I'll tell you what I mean in just a second. So you can see the stripe kind of gets extended right diagonally right through there. That's how I continue the pattern. And so there you go. There's your Merry Christmas with the snowman. He's like a little punched art snowman using the stamp set from the Gifts Galore. And I do have one more to share with you. So one more alternative project. Let me kind of make some room here. It's getting out of control. And I'll share with you my second alternative. And this one actually uses, bring this in, actually uses one of the die cuts. This is why I was saying, I don't think we need to put a die cut on the front and back of all the boxes. So here's what I've done is take that Gifts Galore pile and I've trimmed out the gifts, and let me share with you what I'm doing. This is actually a gift card holder. So here's how I created that. I started with a sheet of basic white. It measures 5.5 by 10 3/4. And I have scored it at 4 1/4 and 8.5. So this goes this way. So that has been scored. It's going to go like so. Then I have a layer of Pool Party, which measures 5 1/4 by 4. And this one I have soft embossed with the second Wintry 3D embossing folder. This is the Alpine branches. And again, it's only about 3 inches high. So I've got a little bit of flat cardstock exposed there. That's okay though, that's what I wanted. And I'm gonna need one of the Gifts Galore die cuts and one of the tag die cuts. So let's start off. I'm gonna do a little bit of stamping. I'm gonna start with a Pool Party ink pad, and I'm gonna bring in from the stamp set the little snowflake stamp. And one more time, I need my piercing mat to stamp. I'm gonna bring this in, and I'm just gonna randomly stamp snowflakes on that section that is not embossed. So it's kind of hard to stamp on cardstock that has been texturized. So this is actually perfect. I have a few little stars peeking out from the branches. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my greeting on my tag. This comes from the kit, and this time I'm stamping "Oh What Fun" in Flirty Flamingo, which is the color of the kit. I'm just going to stamp the Oh What Fun. Make sure I get lots of ink on that. Pressing down firmly to get a good impression. And then I am going to add my snowflakes. Oops, I shouldn't have closed my pool party so quickly. I'm going to have some snowflakes on the tag. There we go. There's a flurry of snowflakes. And before I put my ink away, let's go ahead and stamp the inside of the card. And I'm going to stamp this with Happy Holidays, which is the other sentiment in the stamp set. It's a nice big Happy Holidays. And I'm stamping in Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to stamp one more time about 1/2 inch from the top. That way we have space to sign the card. Just pressing down firmly. There we go. Happy Holidays. And I'm done stamping, so I'm going to put my stamps and ink away so they don't get inky. Then I'm going to bring back in that pool party piece. This goes on the outside, and what I've done is just snipped these gifts apart. Really easy to do because it's just a straight line. And I'm leaving a little bit of a white border just to kind of outline them. And snip there. And so we have pool party gifts. So soft emboss means the embossing folders. So there's 2 different kinds of embossing. You can heat emboss, where you stamp with Versamark ink, that pigment ink, and then you sprinkle powder onto the inking and you heat set that powder. So that would be heat embossing. Soft embossing is when you use one of the folders and put the paper straight through, or put the paper inside the folder and crank it through the stamp and emboss machine. So it is soft embossed. That's what soft embossing means. Thanks for asking. I use those terms. I forget that not everyone speaks the same language, my language, right? Somebody else might call it something else. I'm not sure. Texturizing. All right, so we're using that gift, and I want that tall patterned, and I'm going to cut up here, and we're going to hold on to these extra gifts because we can do things with those too. This one gets cut right around the bow. And I'm going to clean up that little bow. So we need that one. We need the little pool party. We're going to need this old olive. And we need that nice big poppy parade. And I'm not going to worry about fussy cutting too much because a lot of it's going to be covered. On the inside, we are using one of the little prezzies. And I actually trimmed it down, made it fairly small. This is going to be coming out of the little pocket for the gift card, so the recipient can see there's a gift inside. You're welcome, Debbie. All right, and this one I'm trying to make it a little bit neater. Sometimes I don't cut straight, in which case I go to the paper trimmer, but I think it's going to be okay. All right, so let's do some assembly. We're going to start off with the back gift, which is going to be flat adhered, and that means I use liquid glue. You could use the Seal Plus, anything. You could use glue dots, anything that doesn't elevate. So it's just what I call flat adhesive. I'm going to put that right there. My green, my old olive and shaded spruce gift go on with a couple of dimensionals. Just right here. And I'm wondering, oh my goodness, I'm way over on time, but we did lots of projects today, right? I'll have time to make dinner in a few. Okay, so then I'm gonna do the Old Olive gift and also with dimensionals. And this one's kind of like at a little angle. Going to do the pool party, but I want to make sure I put the dimensional in the center. I don't want to double stack those dimensionals. So right in the middle. And the Oh What Fun needs a tag, so I'm going to put dimensionals on that as well. Right up here, maybe put a couple of them at an angle. All right, so I'm ready to assemble this. This will get layered onto the front, and we could use any flat adhesive. Again, you could use the Seal Plus, or my favorite. So easy, because if you don't land in the right spot, you have a little bit of time to tweak it and make it straight. I like that. Okay, about 1/4 inch border all the way around. And again, I'm going to use my bone folder to kind of burnish that on. Like so. I'm just making sure I get some nice contact on there. And let's go ahead and build the pocket on the inside. So we are going to adhere a pool party layer that is 5 1/4 by 2 inches, and again, flat adhered. This is just creating the little pocket to insert a gift card or cash or check. You still do that. All right, and we're going to seal up the pocket only on the sides. So I'm going to do a little trail of liquid glue right down the sides. So you want to come in about 1/8 inch so it doesn't ooze out. And that needs to be secured in position. And then we are going to add the little gift peeking out of the pocket. And I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive, like a little X. Push that right through so the recipient knows, oh, there's a gift inside the pocket. There we go. And there is, oh, one last little thing. Add the embellishment. So this needs to be burnished a little bit more so it's flat. There we go, that's better. And I'm gonna take some of the twine, make a little bow. Notice how I didn't string this through the tag, because that just more aggravation than we need. We don't need to do that. And all I'm going to do is put a little dot right here. Stick my little bow right on there. And we are going to call this one done. All right, so there are my 2 alternatives. There's my reference card, my card I made with you, and as well as my second alternative. And again, if you are a Escape Plus member, you will get all the fixings to create the alternative projects. The best deal is always a year-long subscription, but you can go month to month. It's perfectly fine. It's $22 a month. You will want to subscribe to the Lots of Fun Paper Pumpkin Kit before December 10th. It's an excellent kit for any occasion. So if you're gonna go bananas over the playful, fun-filled projects, I hope you'll consider joining Paper Pumpkin through me. I do come on and go through the kit and offer you alternatives, as well as send you emails as well, so you'll have other things to do. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please post them right below. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with somebody else who might enjoy watching it. And I will post the link above so that you can click over and subscribe to the Lots of Fun card kit coming up. Thanks for joining.